So how incestuous is the incest in this movie?
Whoa, come on now. The thing about Gothic romance is that there's always a sexuality at play, and incest has been something that's been hinted at by other novels in the genre. But I'm not gonna lay it on with anything too hard for you guys. You'll have to wait and see. It's an interesting dynamic. I mean, a brother and a sister have been orphaned, and they in this big old house, and they have a very deep connection. But there's a lot of other romantic elements to the film too.
So the house is sort of the main character, right? Does your character have like a love-hate relationship with the house? Is he tied to this house and he wants to get away from it? Is he...
Well, that's what's interesting about, I think, all of us is, we try to live in the moment. You and I probably, we try to live in the here and now, in the present, and we carry the past with us. And if you haven't sorted through the boxes in the attic of your past, they can run your life. Thomas Sharp has a very old house with a lot of dark secrets, and I think he would love to. He has a compulsion to live in the future, to create. He's an inventor, an engineer. He wants to make things, but his inheritance is very complex. His physical inheritance is this dilapidated mansion which has lots of dark secrets, and his emotional and psychological inheritance weighs very, very heavy on his soul.
So Guillermo has said that this is a very hard R. Were there scenes that were like either so revolting or so intense that they were really hard to film and left you like bruised or whatever?
Yeah, there was some hard scenes. Yeah.
So I read somewhere that they made a full body cast of you for this. What was that for? Were there some scenes that were physically kind of insane?
I think with Guillermo's films, he makes a full body cast of everyone. I mean, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think I think it's DDT. They're an incredible special effects makeup company. I've worked with them twice. I've worked with them 3 times now because I worked with them, Mama, Crimson Peak, and then I just worked with them a little bit on The Huntsman with some scars, and they're amazing. And I think it's just Guillermo started in makeup, and anything we can do for that, he does. So we have the option.
Uh-huh. So are there any scenes in this that were so either revolting or emotionally intense that they were like incredibly difficult to film in particular?
Yeah, there were a lot. I don't want to give any spoilers away. There's one scene in particular that was very difficult for me to film, and my character was emotional, and there's a sequence in the film that goes on forever, and it's physically draining and emotionally draining. And I was saying earlier, I hope to at some point see some behind-the-scenes pics of all of us in the scene, because I imagine that when we weren't filming, we were probably just like, I was covered in bruises, and it was tough.
This movie's being compared a lot to Jane Eyre, and you actually did a Jane Eyre movie a few years ago. Do you feel like your character goes through sort of a similar kind of transformation in this film, like awakening and growing up?
Maybe. They seem quite different to me, but there's definitely a similarity, maybe even just in that kind of time and setting, I guess. But yeah, I love both of them, and they seem different to me, but also the productions felt so different. And but yeah, it's definitely a journey of self-discovery and finding out who you are, and thinking you know who you are, and then meeting a bunch of things that test that, and then having to make choices about your life at the end.
Your character's an American going to England, right? It's sort of about her discovering the horror of the British class system?
Yeah, somewhat, yes. There's, she moves to this crumbling mansion, and the dynamic between the family that she's just joined and the way that they live is, kind of eye-opening for her, because she had a very comfortable upbringing.
Which love triangle is more intense, the one with Tom and Charlie or the one with Tom and Jessica?
I guess that's so subjective, so, everyone will connect to something different, but, they're both really, they're both very different, so...